Yo, yo, yo. What's up? This is your boy Ryan, and I am here with the brand new podcast titled Everything Raw. So, we're going to be talking about everything. It's going to be real, raw, and uncut. All right? This is a disclaimer. I am going to be cussing on this channel. So, I know some of you from Facebook. I'm sorry, but like I said, it's going to be uncut and raw. All right. So, welcome to my podcast. This is episode 1, the pilot. I got something to say. All right. So, I got something to say. All right. Now, you might be wondering, where did Raw come from? Raw is actually my initials. So when I was creating the title for this podcast, I was like, look, Raw has to be in the title because I feel like that's just so raw. So with that being said, Everything's Raw was the winner. I put out a poll on my Instagram and this won, and I like this name. But my name is Ryan Alexander Wright. I am from North Carolina, Durham to be exact, the Bull City, the real 919. I am a teacher. I graduated from Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina. I love my HBCU. So on this podcast, we will be talking about HBCUs as well. I'm going to, get more into that in a minute. But I'm just talking about me right now. I'm 27 years old. I just had a birthday. I just celebrated a birthday February 10th. So I am Aquarius, the best zodiac sign. All right, we're going to get into that as well on this podcast. We're going to get into a lot on this podcast. But this is my first initial podcast. It's just me today. And it's only going to be, my end goal is 5 minutes, no more than 6 or 7 minutes, but I'm going to aim for 5 minutes since this is my initial introduction podcast episode. So, with that being said, on this podcast is going to be raw, it's going to be uncut, and it's just going to be real. Like, we're going to be talking about real life situations. We're going to be talking about, friendships, relationships. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. I'm going to have a lot of different guests on the podcast. So be looking out for that. And if you want to be a part of the podcast, follow Everything's Raw Podcast on Instagram, or you can follow Ryan A. Wright underscore on Instagram. All right. So that's Everything's Raw Podcast and Ryan A. Wright underscore on Instagram. So you can follow those accounts if you would like to be a part of the podcast or any discussions that we're going to have. Next week, we're going to get into the full episode number 2. The name and, the cover art for the episode will be released before the episode come out. I'm inviting my best friends to be a part of the episode because we're going to get into friendships. We're going to talk about friendship breakers, deal breakers in friendships, do's and don'ts in friendships, the pros and cons, of friendships. I have different friend groups. I have a college friend group and I have a childhood friend group. So next week is my childhood friends, friends who I've been friends with for 10 plus years, some 15. So that's going to be very interesting because every time we get together, because we get together almost every Friday, and once we get that little few shots in, we start having real life conversations about real shit. So that's going to be good. So we're going to talk about friendships. We're going to relationships, different things. That friends talk about. And it's just going to be an open conversation. So this podcast is going to be an open conversation. So I'm just going to be, pretty much not an interview, but just, asking questions and seeing what the responses is going to be. Also, I'm going to talk about college experiences, my HBCU experience, my college experience. I'm going to have people that went to many other HBCUs on this podcast talking about their experience at their HBCU or their school. I'm going to have people that went to a PWI. I feel like it's important to highlight that, especially African Americans that attended a PWI or that attends a PWI. I want to know your experience because I don't have that experience. So I would like to know, and I do have questions. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about just a lot of different things. I'm a big wrestling fan, so we're going to have wrestling fans on here. So we're going to talk about different things. So you're going to get the topic before the episode release. I want you to, listen to each podcast episode, to support me. But if you don't like wrestling, I understand. But it's still going to be good dialogue. Sports. I have a story about me watching sports, which is crazy. And one of my friends, I'm going to get him on the podcast as well because he can kind of attest to this story, which is going to be like kind of crazy. Because, sports is something that I probably would have never talked about on the podcast, but I'm here, and we're going to talk about, sports and, different things like that. Family. I'm big on family. My family is going to be here. I would love to have my mom over here and my pops, because that would be like a viral moment, I believe. Like, so I want my family on here. So family, if you're listening, you want to be up here, come to the crib and let's, sit down, let's talk about it. For real, how I do. Let's talk. I love family. Like, I'm big on family. Like, my family is my everything. We go through shit together. We love. We argue. We're best friends. And, we're family. That's what we do. And so I do want to bring my family up here. My mom, my pops. I got 5 sisters. I have 1 brother. I want to talk to them. I'm the youngest on my dad. I'm the middle child on my mom. So that's crazy, right? Being the youngest, being spoiled, and then being the middle child, it's a lot. So I want to definitely get my siblings, and actually, my little sister is going to be on the next podcast episode with my best friend. So I'm going to get her, so she can kind of go about our childhood and what it was like growing up, and where we grew up and how we grew up. So that's all I have for this first episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Not watching on. That's coming soon. I'm going to speak that. Watching soon. This will be, videoed and you can watch this. But right now, just listen. Just listen. All right. Follow my Instagram at Everything's Raw Podcast. Everything's Raw Podcast. And my main Instagram is Ryan A. Wright _. Ryan A. Wright _. So follow me. Stay tuned. I'm coming. I'm going to be dropping a podcast episode every week from here on out. With this one dropping, I don't know the exact date this is going to drop yet, but I know it's going to be before March 1st, and it's March 27th. So it's coming soon. So I just want to say thank you. This is something brand new for me. I love to talk, but I've never, decided to create my own platform and talk. So this is something that I've been wanting to do, that my friends was like, dude, you've been talking about this for a minute. Like, what's up? Do this. And I finally just had the courage to do it. I'm going to be honest. I'm scared. I don't know. I don't like hearing my voice. And but here we are. So thank y'all. Love y'all. I'll see y'all next week with the friendship episode. I'm going to, introduce y'all to some of my friends and my little sister. And, we're going to be back. So thank you for listening to episode 1. I got something to motherfucking say. Cute. All right.